Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to my new car, a Mazda RX8. Now, this may come as a little bit of a surprise to someone and not much of a surprise to others. I did say I wanted a Japanese car. I did say JDM. This isn't strictly JDM, but it is Japanese and it fits into the kind of shows that I go to. So basically, I needed a car that had, well, I would say reliability, but they're not best known for their reliability, as I'll go into later on, but I needed a reliable car, a modern car with maybe some comforts for driving to car shows a bit further away and maybe going to the Japanese events that I go to, so I don't have to turn up in the MG and look a bit out of place. Also, my MGB, I'm going to start doing lots of work to it. I'm going to do a light restoration. It needs a few things. I've already done a couple of things, but that's off the road for the moment. So I am relying on the Cobra, and the Cobra needs a new radiator. So that is at the garage at the moment, getting one fitted. I just started doing it myself and decided, I mean, this car, it's not like it's a MGB where it's not worth that much and there's a big following of like forums and manuals and things. It's like a bespoke car and it's a bespoke radiator. So no, I gave it to a garage to do in the end. So I needed a car to use, and this is kind of as usable as I allowed myself to get. And yes, I paid £500 for this car. Yes, they are cheap for a reason, and I'm probably a little bit of an idiot for buying the cheapest one in the country, but that's what I've got, and it got me here, which, well, if it breaks down, I'm stranded wherever this is, but at least it got me a place. But let's go into a little bit of detail about the car. Now, there are two versions of the RX8 of this kind of facelift generation. There is the 192 and the 231. The 192 has about 192 horsepower and the 231 has about 231 horsepower. And this is the lesser model because obviously it's the cheapest one. This is the 192. It's probably only running about 160 horsepower after 11 years of its life. It's a 2007 model, so it's a later one, which means I am in the highest tax bracket for any car in this country. Now let me explain a little bit about tax in this country. It's not road tax, it doesn't pay for the road surface, other taxes and things do that. It is emissions tax. That's what you pay on a car. So that's why you don't pay tax on a bicycle, for instance, because they make no emissions, and a Tesla, etc, etc. So I actually pay more to tax this car for a year than I paid for the car itself. Taxing the car was £555 and the car was £500. It's ridiculous. That's another reason why people aren't really prepared to pay a lot for this car. It's because the Wankel engine, the Rotary engine, I'm going to say the word Wankel so many times, is just really inefficient. It burns oil. This has got 12 months of MOT, so it's passed the emissions test and it's all kind of working, and so that's good. That's good. That's peace of mind right there. So I've gone for the winning blue metallic colour. Well, I say I've gone for it. This is the one that was available, but this is the colour I wanted anyway. I wouldn't have wanted a grey one because I think they look a little bit dull. And it's got 18-inch wheels as standard, and these wheels need refurbishment, to say the least. Now, the reason the lighting isn't that good, it's a little bit dark, is because it's getting late in the evening, because I've just spent the last 3 hours washing this car, and as you'll see, the wheels and everything else was in a really bad state. So I've made it a little bit more presentable for you now, at least from about here. It looks alright, I guess. Now, the idea for this car is to maybe start doing a little bit of modification to it. Not too much. It's not really the right kind of engine to start getting power outputs unless you start going turbocharged, and they can't really handle that very well. It's just not something I'm really prepared to go down with this car, because it's not the most reliable engine in the world. A engine rebuild's about £3,000. You might as well buy 6 of these for that cost, so I'm not going to prepare to do that. But things like potentially repositioning the number plate, because it's right in the way of that nice smile, maybe debadging it, maybe getting new wheels or refurbishing the wheels. But if you follow me on Instagram, I will be posting all the little mods that I want to do and get you to vote for which mod you want to see on this car. So it's, in a way, it's your modification. No, it's not. It's still I'm modifying it, but yeah, you get to get a little bit of say for what you want to see. But let's go into some of the details about why this is £500. For example, it's got several dinks down the side of it. There's one there as well. Basically, The metal used on Japanese cars, especially this one, is very thin, so it dents very easily. It's also got parking sensors on the rear, and it's been apparent that they don't work very well because someone's had a little bit of an incident there and a little bit of an incident there. So here's the key. It's got a nice little Mazda logo on it. Lock, unlock. There's no noise for unlock, it just kind of does it. Boot, you can pop the boot. There you go. And there's a button or something about that, I don't know. And then you press this button to flip the key out, but that doesn't really work, so you have to kind of, it's really awkward. Anyway, let's go inside. So how many people can say they've paid £500 for a car with full leather interior, heated seats, a stereo with a 6-disc CD changer, Bose sound system? It does actually sound rather good. And obviously, as a lot of you might know about these cars, they're sold as like a coupe look, but they've got the practicality of 4 doors. But no, there's no handle here, there's no like hidden Alfa Romeo 156 door handle style thing here. You have to open the driver's door and then you reach around and you've got some suicide doors there, so that's a pretty cool feature as well. I rather like these kind of RX8 plaques here, and in fact, whilst I was washing the car, let me just go round, I realised that this panel on the passenger side still had its original protective film on, so that was a nice joy to take off. Oh my god. Oh. So, sitting inside the car, it's actually rather nice. I'm not going to pretend it's like a luxury Mercedes kind of Bentley style thing, but it's a nice place to be. It's comfortable. It's not like a cheap hatchback with fabric seats. It feels like a normal car and it's normal sized. And the dashboard's nothing too unsightly to look at. No major quirks, although I do like quirks. It's got a horn. But now, as car guys like seeing under the bonnet, I shall give you a look. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of rust there. That's unavoidable. So as with all modern cars, you've got the kind of do not touch plastic covers, but on these cars you just kind of pull them there and they come off, and there is the wankle. There's the rotary engine, looking unlike any other engine you've ever seen. Well, there's the oil fill cap, something I'll be using a lot. But yeah, it's a nice car. There's bits of browning every there and there and there and there. It's not bad. I did clean up this engine bay rather well. I'm sure, as you all know about the Wankel engine, the shape of the element that rotates inside the engine is a triangle. And this car features a few triangles. I'm sure I'll find more as I come along the ownership. But in the design of it, there are loads of triangles. So let's show some now. So we've got on the front, triangle there. Obviously this kind of shape is meant to be a triangle, which is reflected on top of the bonnet here. That is another triangle. What else have you got? Oh yes, the back of the headrest, triangle. That really weird handbrake is a triangle. The gear stick is a triangle on the top. They could have put a triangle there, but they didn't go overboard. You can get custom triangle exhausts, and I would like to get new exhaust for this. I will do a poll as to what exhaust I should get on Instagram. Triangle. The wing mirrors have some point to, I don't know, like an inspiration from the triangle shape. It's a nice shape, a triangle. Now, before I get too obsessed about the shape of a triangle, let's talk about more statistics. Now, this is a 2.6 litre engine. People say it's a 1.3. It was marketed when it came out as a 1.3. It's like, how have you got that much power out of a 1.3 engine? But it's 2 rotors, each one is 1.3, so that adds up to 2.6. It's actually a 2.6 litre engine for insurance purposes and everything else. 0 to 60 is about 7 seconds. I think it's just over 7 seconds, so I just say about 7 seconds, so it sounds a bit faster than it is. It's not a fast car, not today anyway, but it was a sports car. It's a sporty coupe. But again, there can't be a lot of cars that go 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, just over, for £500. So that's that. And other interesting features about this car is, as standard, they came with a carbon prop shaft and a limited slip diff. And with the 50-50 weight distribution, it's really good at handling. It was well known for being a good handling car. So even though it's not got as much power as, say, a Bugatti Veyron, it's good fun on the roads. Now let's start it up and go for a drive. Now I must say the engine is warm, and they're not good at warm starts, these cars. There you go. So even though it's a standard exhaust, let's give a few revs so you know what it sounds like. does rev up to 7,000 RPM. Now the 231s had a 6-speed manual, whereas I've got a 5-speed manual, so they could rev up even further than that. But apparently the way these were geared, it's not that much difference in performance to the more powered car with the 6-speed gearbox. So my rev limit is around, you know, 8 to 9, and it beeps when you get up to there when you're driving and when you're revving. There you go. There's the beep, but it's really weird revving up to there. But to kind of eliminate some of the carbon build-up that happens to, you know, kind of wear out the apex seals on the rotary engines, you need to use all of the revs. Like when you turn it off, you kind of hold the revs at about 3,000 RPM and turn it off whilst it's held at 3,000 RPM. And all these little tips were told to me by the previous owner, who is Petrol Hedonistic on Instagram, so give him a follow. He's got a BMW E46 project car coming up, and that's going to be mad. Hopefully I can do some videos with him, but check him out, because that's going to be a little bit exciting, I reckon. It's from what I've heard. Right, let's floor it. Now that beep that you hear is the beep to tell me to change gear. I might find a way to turn it off because it gets a little bit annoying. I know when to change gear. And the weird thing about this car is second gear brings you up to about 50 miles an hour, and in third gear, top of third gear, it's over 70, over the national speed limit. So it's ridiculous with 5 gears that you can use the gears at that kind of speed, such low down gears. And that's partially why the fuel economy on this car isn't great either. That's another thing to keep in mind. Right, got another acceleration. Let's see when first gear gets to. Right, first gear. 35 miles an hour, second gear. 60 miles an hour, and then that's the speed limit of this road. So the top of second gear is national speed limit on this road. Top of third gear must be about 80 or 85. I haven't tried that because obviously it's beyond the national speed limit of a motorway. That's ridiculous. So I'm just cruising in third gear at 50 miles an hour. So yeah, welcome to a new kind of scenery for my channel. I'll be going to car shows, hopefully, if it makes it there, in this car. So this is the new view you've got to get used to. Now there's some fogging up going on. Let's put that on. No, also, there we go. Aircon, heating, luxuries I haven't had before. This is the first car I've ever had with aircon. First car I've had with power steering. First car I've ever owned with airbags. First car I've ever owned with 4 doors. And first car I've ever owned with a roof that doesn't have like a sunroof or a way of putting the roof down. It's the most modern car I've ever owned. Obviously it's the first Wangle I've ever owned. So in a week's time, for me right now, is Japfest at Silverstone, which is the UK's largest Japanese car show, and I am going to take part at Japfest with this car. Now I've got a week to prepare it. I don't know if we'll be able to do any mods before then, but find me, if it's not already been, at Boss Cars UK stand at Japfest. I'll be in the RX8 unless it I don't know, doesn't make it. I'm used to cars not making it to shows, so I like saying that, because otherwise, if I don't make it, everyone would laugh. But I don't think there's much more to say now, because I've shown you a lot of the car. There's not much more to say. So welcome to my new car. And one thing, the elephant in the room, sorry that I did not buy an S14. That's what I said I wanted, and I did want one. I didn't get one because this came up, it was cheap, I am young. Insuring an S14 is a little bit difficult for a young driver. Even this was difficult to insure, God knows why. So yes, apologise that I didn't buy an S14. But who knows, somewhere else down the line I might be able to snap up a nice S14, but they're shooting up in value, I might not be able to for what they're worth. So I'm going to end the video now. Hope you enjoyed my purchase. Surprise, surprise, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for all the updates of this car, so you can vote for what mods you want to see on it, including exhaust, and for a weekly list of all the car shows I go to. And don't forget to check me out at Japfest Silverstone, which is on Sunday the 6th of May 2018. But for now, thanks for watching.